Thank you for tuning in to 2 Cents, my podcast. I'm your host, Nino. First of all, please, people, continue to hit that like button and them subscriptions. Thanks again to the man upstairs for what he do on a consistent basis. And to all my followers, audience, and listeners, thank you, thank you, thank you. I got an email from one of my listeners who relocated and moved to another state. And he said, Nino, I want you to dive off into this topic because I think it has struck me. This bug has struck me. Can there really be love at first encounter? Again, can there really be love at first encounter? Because, like he said, he moved out of town. He moved to a whole nother state. And he think it's possibly love at first encounter, for first connection. Basically, you remember people, a lot of people know, especially, old school people, but millennials should know too. It always was a saying, love at first sight. So this counter is down the road I'm going to. This kind of the road that I'm gonna, elaborate on and talk about. Love at first encounter can be a facsimile of the feeling at the moment, but can it really resonate into true deep love? Hypothetically, I think the question still falls in limbo. Love or being in love usually unfolds or develops in duration of time, establishing trust, intimacy, deep awareness, a deep connection, and another person values or character. Now, I believe that does fall in limbo, but I see the possibilities, and the law of averages say that love is not truly deep love on first encounter or when you first meet somebody. But who knows? Because I think people have met each other on a first date or first encounter, fell in love, rolled off into the sunset, and have had a great marriage, a great relationship. But I can see where it can be, it can be possibly not always true, because you have the factors that also got to weigh in with it. And a lot of time when you have characteristics and factors that weigh in, it has to take time to really fully see the effect of it. So even though I think it can still, you have to gain the trust. A lot of time, love is intimacy. When a person is being intimate with you, you have to have certain personalities or get used to certain personalities. You have to know a person values, what they like, the do's and the don'ts. So even though I think that it can happen, and of course I know it has happened, I can see where, the odds of it is maybe it's not love, maybe it is something like puppy love. Because I believe when people look at when you love somebody at first encounter, that is puppy love. You are smitten with it. You are taken by them. But is it true deep love? And we have to always remember, people, love and being in love is two different roads and two different avenues. So this is some of the breakdowns of why love at first encounter might not be true love. Intense attraction and true versus true love. Again, intense attraction versus true love. What is often taken out of the context of love at first encounter is a hot, intense attraction set off by a multitude of hormones and neurochemicals. The attraction can be colossal and riveting, but not same or equal up to the long, hard, and eternal love that develops over time. That's what that is, I think, an infatuation. Because can you say you really in love after 1 or 2 days of seeing a person? No, because you really don't know. You really don't know the do's and don'ts about them. You really don't know how they're going to be when pressure arises or pressure arose. You don't never know how they're going to be when this certain situation or circumstances come into the mix. You seeing everything now because it's happy, jolly, and fun. So obviously when everything is happy, jolly, and fun, you're going to see the best of each individual. But you have to see how people will react when, adversity stems or brews. You have to see what's going on when people is facing things that, could take them to depression or certain things like that. So I understand that it's going to be great if everything is going good, because who don't love to do things when everything is going good and everything is peaches and cream? But we all know in a relationship, it's not going to always be peaches and cream. So even though the hot attraction and the intense can set off hormones and neurochemicals, because you're getting warm, all fuzzy under and everything, that goes from the women to the men. For true love and true being in love, you do need to go through a little bit of more factors. You do need to wait time. You do need to sit back and see, kind of like the old phrase is, the basic phrase. We always got to get to know each other. Lack of intimacy and trust. True love involves intimacy, trust, and a deep connection, which usually can't be manifested instantly. Though the first attraction might bring out a sense of excitement and bring out physical sparks, it doesn't encompass or guarantee the bigger aspects of love, such as understanding, support, bonding, and shared values. Well, that's what I'm saying. A deep connection which usually manifests instantly, though the first attraction might bring out a sense of excitement, but will it bring out support? Will it bring out bonding? Will it bring out understanding? Because see, now y'all just really more physical, I believe, attracted to each other than the support. And people, you got to realize too, a lot of a relationship is mental too. How you going to adapt when one of your partners is not down for getting intimate that night? How you going to adapt when one of your partners is sick and you might have to go to work if y'all in a relationship, staying together, or even in a marriage, and one of your partners is sick, and usually y'all going two-way on the bills, but they are sick and they have to stay at home, so they missing work. So now you got to carry the whole load, or all the weight is on your shoulders. How you gonna deal? How you gonna carry? How you gonna react through that? How you gonna react when bondings come in? The mix. So sometimes you just need good bonding in a relationship and shared values. You might have a different value, and your lady might have a different value, or vice versa. Ladies, you might have a different value, and your man have a different value. But can you come together and learn each other's values and become accustomed to liking each other's values? See, it's a lot that has to go on, and it's a lot that has to have a connection and a niche to get together when you're in a relationship, that I can see why I'm saying first encounter, no, you might need a little bit of time. Because really, you can look at first encounter as y'all both just hot and warm. The heat is on. I have seen first encounter sometimes can be the equivalent of a one-night stand. And I'm not trying to be, real bold and real negative about it. But first encounter, do you really love this person? Because you might love how this person look. You might love how this person talk. You might love how this person walk. But do you really love or in love with them? Because see, a lot of times I believe the first encounter, you're infatuated or in love with them, is something that either of the partners hadn't seen in a long time. So when you're used to a certain norm and then something comes, your way in front of you that's a little different, then that's going to change your outlook on things. That's going to get you excited. that's going to turn up your levels. So I believe that can be a good point too. Unfoldment of love over time. Again, let me repeat that. Unfoldment or development of love over time. That true love materializes and morphs as you get to acknowledge someone's swagger, personality, values, and character. The existence isn't just the heat of the moment, but coming together as a unit and building a strong bond over time. You're trying to become a solid unit. You're trying to become so aware of your partner that a lot of times you know what they're going to do before they even do it, or you know what they're going to even say before they even say it, as well as they know the same thing to you. See, familiarity becomes a big part in this. That's why, again, I can see why it said you got to have a little time and let everything connect together. It's kind of like connecting the dots. Connect the support, connect the development of knowing each other, connect having each other's back, connect, the shared values, getting to know each other. Because let's keep it 100. You might have to get used, and this is where the connection can go more than just first encounter. You might, if y'all together in a relationship, you might have a certain morning routine that's different than your partner's certain morning routine, and vice versa. Because everybody has routines, and I know especially men, we are creatures by habit. So maybe that woman has to get accustomed, or maybe that woman has to get used to your certain routine, and of course you have to get used to her certain routine. Or maybe some way she say y'all both have kids in school, and the woman wants to pick up the kid because she has a job that can interfere with her picking up the kids. She want to pick up or make sure the kids have a ride home or have somebody pick them up at a certain time or place, compared to what a man has the same job and he has a thought of how the kids should be picked up at a certain time or place. You have to get the use. You have to have a lot of compromise in this too. You have to have a lot of compromise when it comes to love and true love to build and construct a relationship. You have to be willing to give. You have to be willing to, sometimes minimize, marginalize to where you usually will take over and control the whole situation or the whole circumstances, because now it's just not one, it's two people working together. And oftentimes, two people work together better than one. But that's a big point. It's more than this, love at first encounter. Because again, I can still roll back to that. I think that is strictly straight up puppy love. You've been missing something, and something comes around your way and it's attractive and pretty, and it didn't catch your eye, whether it's men or women. And so now you just, you head over here, you gone. You forward. It gives you a tingle in your spine because you haven't felt this in a long time. The role of compatibility in love at first sight or love at first encounter. Love also feeds off compatibility. Yes, it does, which usually doesn't happen at first encounter. It takes a little getting to know others' personalities, communication, styles, and how to juggle, you hear me? How to juggle challenges and build a life together. But see, that's what I'm saying. That's love. You have to figure out when obstacles come your way and challenges, let's work together and make this happen. You don't want no juggle or no obstacles coming your way, and then your partner has a solution. You have a solution, but both of the solutions are going in different, they go in different ways. They have a different pattern. You want to try to work together. And see, that's love of being in love. because you're gonna have to juggle your challenges at times. You're gonna have different personalities. You're gonna have communication where maybe your one partner is really kind of quiet and try to keep things to themselves and handle it that way. Or maybe the other partner is usually very outspoken, want to say everything out on the table and have a clearance and cover, cross all the I's, dot all the I's and cross all the T's and make sure everything is all well understood so we all can be on the same page. So that's why you have to show, that's why you can show a long, true love, or being in love instead of this a first encounter, because really, you really just trying to get to know each other. Listen, you can first meet somebody, take them, put them in the sack, have sexual intercourse with them, and you don't know that person from a rock that you done got out of a lake. You just caught up. Y'all just having sexual intercourse. Y'all probably are vulnerable, and a lot of times people run to sex and having intercourse, having intimacy when they're vulnerable, men and women, because they're going through something, so they think that's going to help them heal. But true love and true being in love, I think, does take time. Though again, people have fell in love on first encounter, have made it work, and are still together as I speak. And that's true. Like Kevin Garnett always said, and I have said 2 or 3 times, when Kevin Garnett of the Boston Celtics, they won the NBA championship in 2008. You remember his saying, anything is possible, and it is. But the odds, the ratio, the head-on bets will be that it's hard to find true love or being loved off of first encounter. It just gonna take time. Again, anything worth really having, or anything really worth you making a completion with, or having satisfaction with, or maybe anything worth long term, a lot of times gonna take work and gonna take time, and you can believe that. Potential for disappointment when you're looking for love, or you think love can happen at first encounter. Again, potential for disappointment when you think you have located, find, or sought out love at first sight or love at first encounter. Basing a relationship only on a first encounter can lead to disappointment if actually the relationship doesn't match initially what you're drawn or connected to. So could this just be lust or lustful? It is important to allow the connection to grow naturally and understand that someone on a deeper level before jumping off into significant commitments. I think it's nothing but lust or lustful. It could be a good friendship starting, but off of first encounter, I think that what happened is this one individual has been so alone, probably has been rejected so much that maybe when they meet some person or meet somebody or meet an individual that this kind of says, things that they're like, hearing what's coming out their mouth, because they're used to hearing a lot of negativity, or they're used of being rejected, but they see positivity coming out this one person that they have met, and they feel nice and uplifted about it. I believe that's what takes them to believe, well, I'm already in love, because love is what you search out to. It's what you search out. Now, basing it again on a first encounter, we can't say it ain't never happened, because it have. But again, I will say I believe the odds are it just can't naturally all the time happen, because naturally things have to unfold. Things have to occur. You need to know what this man or this woman dislikes. You probably need to know a little bit more about this man or woman family. If they got kids, you know, what again this man or woman would do, you know, when they get mad. You know, you probably want to know how this man or woman deals with money, with finances, and with a relationship. All this comes a big part in with a relationship, and that takes time. Certainly, you cannot learn that on this first initial date, and you just gonna grasp love at a first encounter or first meeting somebody. Because for one thing, y'all need to sit down and have an abundance of conversations. Communication always is a facilitator and a key component in any relationship or anything. You got to sit down and talk, whether you're saying the same thing. I believe you can't never give a person enough information, especially about yourself, or you cannot never learn enough information about another person, especially if you're trying to get in a relationship, if you're trying to find love with this person, if you're trying to become in love with this person. You got to ask questions. You got to, want to know things. And again, if they feel like that you're talking or asking them too many questions and saying, well, you're kind of nosy, why you're always just asking me questions? Well, we're trying to get in a significant long-term relationship. So what do you have to hide? Why are you getting upset? Because I know if I'm in a relationship and somebody want to ask me something, or I'm seeking a long-term relationship where it's love or being in love, I'm willing to answer anything. If this person is worth it, I'm willing to talk any time of night. Well, of course, when we have to get sleeping, it's no problem discussing us becoming closer and closer to each other. And how you do that is communication. So, can there be love at first encounter? It can be, but I think that is puppy a bow wow wow love. That's what I think that is. That is lustful infatuation. I think that's more of an attraction where, you just hot under the collar, and women or men, you're looking to get you a little something. And you know what I mean. Can there be love at first encounter? It has been, but I have to roll with the odds. I don't think on a natural consensus that you can just constantly do that, because it's too much in getting to really complete a relationship. You got to find out about your partner fully. What if they've been a criminal? What if they have jail history? You got to find out. You have to check their background and all that. So you need to get to know all of that. So can there, one more time, be love at first encounter? It can, but not on a national consensus. 2 cents. This is my podcast. I'm Nino. Thank you.